Alright, yo, what's up guys? Welcome to my first video. I'm just gonna try to make a beat from scratch today, see how it goes. So yeah.
You don't know how we move in silence.
First thing I like to do a lot of time is just pick a key. So I have this thing saved, I'll show you guys here. If I can find it. So I have these keys actually saved. This is like a trick you can do. So I just made these 8-bar clips. You could take C sharp minor, for example. So all you'd have to do to create this is just make a MIDI clip, make it 9 bars long, or however, 1 bar extra from however long you want, like your standard one to be. I like using 8 bars, so you'd make it 9 bars. And then within that, at the end, so in the last bar, let's say I had 4 or 5 bars. Then right in this last bar here, you will write the notes of whatever key you're using. So if you're using, just to make it simple, C major, for example, all the white notes, and in the key, there's 7 notes, right? So you're gonna put your 7 notes, starting from the closest to the bottom C, C minus 2 here. Then scroll all the way out, make sure you're all the way out like this. Copy those, so drag them, copy them, Command C, paste them, Command V, then hold Shift while these are still selected. Don't click off them, hold Shift, and click your up arrow. And that's gonna bring them up. Then you can do that again, highlight all of those, Command C, Command V, hold your Shift, then press the up arrow twice, so that you're stacking, right? You get the picture. Select the whole thing. You could do this one by one, or you can just keep like multiplying it like this. Copy that, paste that, up, 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 up. Make sure you're holding Shift, which just puts them up an octave. So this will, and then you can even highlight as much as you want because the overlap doesn't matter. So you can highlight those, even like just fill out the space, right, until it's almost at the top. You're not going to use those notes anyways. Then if you click fold on this, it will fold to only the notes that are in this MIDI clip, which means since we have those ones on the end there, then it's going to fold to only those. So whatever key you put these notes as, now I can only play notes in that key. Then, so what I did was just create all the clips, right, and save them. And then I just put the folder here. And if you want to do that, on your places, just click add folder. Click add folder, you can add any folder. So let's say you made your MIDI clip, right? Just put a couple notes in there. Once you have your MIDI clip, just click export MIDI clip right there. And then you can just name it whatever you want. Just name it the name of the key that it is. Yeah, that's what I did. It's a really useful trick. So yeah, whenever I'm starting a beat, like I can just literally pick a key, or if I know the key of something that I'm using, like a sample or something, I can just click, boom, B major, you're in. You're ready to go. B major, I have all the B major notes folded right here. So let's pick a key. I like to sometimes just like pick a random one. Let's do a minor one for today. Try a minor. And then just pick a sound. So I'll try some new stuff. I just got these this pack. Yeah, let's use a electric keyboard. Not that one. Just go through some of these. Got it out. I'm gonna make a 4-bar loop first. Here's an idea. Make a 4-bar like bass line. Just let's feel this key out actually. Let's try to make a little chord here. This is horrible. That sounds horrible. Let's just make this just a bass line. Let's make this just a bass line for now. And then we'll make a new sound. Throw that key in there again. And let's use something else for the chords. And let's spice the bass line up again. Spice it up a little more. Alright, so now we got a pretty good, like, there's a little bass line to, like, build a melody off of. Take out the actual bass. I don't want like, anything under 100 hertz for this.
I don't make the rules, I'm just a pilot.
So I have a lot of stuff saved too as like presets that I use all the time. And this is another useful trick you can use. You can just, if you use these tag things, so right click on your, or control click on like any saved device, and you can put it into different color tags. And then when you click on that, like you can rename these too. So you can rename the colors. I just have one called Essentials. So if I click on this yellow one, I have all this stuff that I'm using all the time, like specific effects that I'm using on lots of songs or different things. All right, let's find a new sound. What do I want to use for this? Let's find a cool sound from Labs. And if you guys don't know Labs, this is a free plugin by Spitfire. Really useful. You can just download, like everything's free. You can just find tons of free sounds. Yeah, this is something to use if you're looking for new VST instruments. Really useful. You can play previews here. Let's use something crazy. And just because the sound is kind of hard to hear, I'll still end up using it, but let's use something else while we're building that melody, just so it's easier to actually hear it. Oh, wow. Why is that so quiet? Throw a little compressor on here. Alright, so now I'm going to duplicate the little bass line that we made. Turn this thing red. And this one's going to be called Anthem, just because that's the actual sound I'm going to use. And then let's switch to that. Switch back to the Anthem sound. Take the release and the reverb down a little bit. Yeah, I could see something happening here. Since this bass line is so busy, we got to make it less prominent, pretty much. We don't want too much, you know, we don't want that taking up too much, because we're going to add a lot of stuff too.
Looking down the road, I see the sky bend.
And so this is another little trick for like arranging songs or melodies. Variation, but not too much variation. So this is bars 3 and 4. So let's make it also the same for 7 and 8. And maybe we can add something else on top of this later. But let's change only the first 2 for the second time this plays. Once it hits here, we'll have something else. Let's think of something. Just try something now. No. This ain't right. Let's just put the same thing and then work from there. Alright, so those are fine now.
Try to tell the truth and end up crying.
Another useful trick, I like to mix things by groups. So like these sounds, like I've made them to go together, right? So I put them in a group, then I'm going to put a glue compressor on it. That just makes them come together a little more. Then we can even add like just different effects to that group specifically. Add a compressor, add some reverb. And this sound is still too harsh for me. So if you're finding something to be too harsh, you need to take out you probably need to take out certain frequencies. So let's find what frequency is making this too harsh. Right around there, right? So let's take away all this stuff. And just to make this sound more interesting too, let's just put something on it. Like, it doesn't even matter. No. Like just something like that, right? Just add some depth to it. Usually I'd do more melodic stuff first, but I'm actually going to start adding like some of the drums. MC38 hats. This is pretty much the hi-hat that I use for like basically everything, honestly. Alright, so then let's call this hats. color it like green. Keep it pretty basic for now, just to start to build like the other patterns, and then I can add hi-hat rolls and stuff like that after. So, and we can use this to gauge what we want the tempo to be too. So let me add a quick snare. I got some snares right here. Let's just take one. Doesn't really matter. I could use a different snare later, but I just want to get something. Honestly, I like the 138 for this, so we'll keep it on that. And honestly, I kind of like that snare. I might keep that too. Now let's pick a different note for the hi-hat. Sometimes you can just, if you're using like a sampler or something for your hi-hats or your snares, just try moving them up and down, or if not, just transpose them. However, whatever device you're using, you can transpose them. Try different pitches. And here's an easy way to use rolls. Honestly, I don't even use this that much, but I know you could do this. So like, I like to use triplet rolls. So switch your grid to triplet. And then if you hit B on your keyboard, or this little pencil thing right here, that puts you in like, I think it's called build mode, draw mode. You could go like this, just click and drag, and you have a roll. Another tip I learned from, I think it was Southside, was he puts a lot of his rolls like right before a snare hits. Like the snare, the hi-hat roll going into a snare. Take like this one for example. Let's put a roll right before that one. Boom. That sounds pretty good. Then let's just add, honestly, like I don't like to do too many crazy rolls. Just those two little rolls there, and then add some little different pitched ones here and there. I want it to go. Whoa, hey. Since we now have those notes kind of established in our ear, right? Now that we've heard this a couple times, it might be we can use this same note that it ended on. Move that one right there. See this one. Perfect. Then, like I said earlier, let's do a little variation without too much variation. So we'll just add literally like something like right here. So one of these, I like doing a little double at the beginning of like a new bar or something. And let's add a roll with these guys. So let's go triplet grid, draw mode, double roll. There. Now you gotta finish hi-hat pattern. Group that with your snare. And also if you ever color like your track and then your clip is still not colored, just right click and hit assign track color to clips. I'll usually separate everything into melodic, which is just like all the like melodic instruments, right? Like pianos, pads, keys, leads, plucks, whatever you have. And then I'll make a group for drums, which will also include usually the bass, the 808 or whatever it is. And we're going to structure this out afterwards. So I'm just kind of building like a fundamental loop to work with.
I still dropping knowledge, Reader's Digest.
I should probably go off of this, right? This is my bass line so far, so I don't have to follow it exactly the same, but I should use this as a guideline probably. If it doesn't, whatever sounds good. If it doesn't sound good, it doesn't sound good, but... And it's too low. I'm going to save this idea for later, so I'm just duplicating it over here. I might just keep it one note, honestly. We could probably just do that. And instead of having this note here, how about we put it here, up an octave, cut that one off. Alright, so then this idea that I had, just the 4 notes, right? That's the only different thing, so I wanted that to be the variation. So the second time this plays, yeah.
A mindset FTP, that's on my chest.
And then, you ever want some more grime on your 808s? Here's a little trick I like to use. Get a saturator. I have this little preset that I made. You can copy it if you want. Sometimes I'll put this literally on a master of a song. Just set it like a pretty low dry wet. But if you don't know about this color stuff or whatever this stuff is down here, use this. Use this when you're saturating. So like, from what I can tell, like the bass, I don't know what it does, but honestly on the 808, I like to have it down. You can hear the difference here. So if we like turn this all the way up, turn the drive like crazy, right? You can see what the bass does, right? And if you turn it down, so I like to have it like a little bit down. And then this frequency and this depth and this width is almost like when I have my EQ, right? I have these little points that I can move around and boost or like reduce them. So it's kind of like that. That's at least how I'm picturing it. So I want to boost right around like 90 hertz for 808 right here. This is where I like to be peaking, like right there, right around 90. So let's actually do that. In the saturator, you can get a crazy sound. So literally just put this right at like 90. You can move it around. By the way, when you're moving these knobs in Ableton, if you hold shift, you can move it more finely. Basically, it'll like slow it down for you. Let's try moving that around while we're listening. Honestly, that one sounds crazy. So without the saturator, this is what it sounds like. Kind of weak, kind of mid. Get the saturator on there, add a little extra, boom, boost the bass a little bit. Now I can turn it down because it's going to be a lot louder. Now let's listen to that. And since this beat is kind of faster, I'm going to, in the sampler where I have my 808, just turn down that sustain, flip this up a little bit, and then mess with the decay. Just make it sound a little more punchy. And with this saturator too, let's try a different, whatever the hell these are. I usually stick with analog clip, but we'll try some other. Let's use that one. I also love overdrive. I haven't used it on 808s as much lately. I used to use it a lot, but it can give you some crazy sounds. You just don't want it, never put the dry wet on 100% because it will take away some of your sub bass. Like, I bet you can even see it. Look at what this looks like as compared to. Alright, well, it looks the same, but it makes it kind of muddy, can kind of mess up the actual like frequencies. So I've heard. So let's mess with that, and then I'm gonna just leave it at like 20% or something. Honestly, it sounds horrible, so I'm gonna just scrap that. And also, you always want to mix your melodic stuff quieter than your drums, which is why I like to have them in the groups. So a lot easier to do this. So I can like, if you mix everything within groups, right? If I change the volume of the group, these are gonna stay the same relative to each other. And this sucks, man. I gotta fix this. Let's even cut this off here. So what I think we're missing now is, let's layer this with a kick. Okay. I'm kind of perplexed by this beat, honestly. This beat sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Let's try adding some more melody, more melodic stuff. And let's just pick something random, some stock Ableton. I like to pick from different things, right? If you don't know about the packs, man, there's a lot of free stuff on there. That's really useful. Let's actually use a guitar. And if you just use this one called guitar, I think you can, like, through the velocity, you can like make it muted or open. Let's see if we can come up with anything. No, first, keep that queued up. But first, this is gonna be a pad because we don't even have a chord progression yet, which a lot of people would start with first. I would usually do that too, but I didn't. So now we gotta make one that fits with this. So let's get a pad. I think I have some preset ones. I need to make more. Honestly, I'm lazy, but now let's find a chord that works. Honestly, I'm feeling like maybe like a full chord for here and a different chord for this section. Might work. Okay, this chord is sick. These chords are sick.
This'll take a minute. I won't trust myself.
And just because I'm getting some latency right now, one thing that can help is freeze some tracks. Because I'm using OBS and Ableton at the same time. It's gonna give me a lot of latency. Alright, so it froze those tracks. We're getting a little less latency now. Just like a lot of effects, a lot of plugins stack on top of each other, you know, it can lead to a lot. And I was gonna layer these pads, you know, if you see the vision, I'm gonna layer these pads with some strings. Always layer too. If you just need some more depth, something sounds a little empty, like maybe your chords sound good, your melody sounds good, but the whole beat just sounds kind of like cold and empty. Just layer stuff, honestly, just layer things. So we're gonna call this strings, and we're just gonna use the string section from the packs. This should work, this should work. And then we'll even add some little extra notes, maybe that only play on the strings, just for some more depth. Yeah. And honestly, like I feel like these two things are kind of clashing with the chords a little bit. Not even melody-wise, just frequency-wise. Let's put ozone imager on it. A little less wide. Not mono, but cut down a little bit. And let's also turn down the keys. Also make sure, if you're using this group thing, it's really like an easy trick is just to put this like 100 cut, like put the, what's it called, low cut or high pass filter on like 100 hertz around there, like just however much of your sub bass you want to cut off for your melodic stuff, which will allow your bass to like shine through a little bit, because you want your bass to be hitting lots of these frequencies, right? And let's also take out any like really sharp high frequencies, because we really don't need any of this stuff. We can gradually cut it off like that, but we really don't need any of this stuff. Super high, 18 hertz, like that is reserved for like parts of the snare and the hi-hats. So now everything should sound a little more clear when we play it all together.
But I put myself in it so I control my health.
And like I said I was gonna do, let's add some extra notes onto only the strings. No. This needs, wait. I have an idea. Sometimes you want to be listening for like ideas for variation. So like, this sounds good, right? It sounds fine, but I want to do that the second time, and the first time it's gonna do. What am I trying to do? Yeah, so I'll just same top note as the other chord. So now in the whole like context of everything, let's add a little bit of a variation with the drums. Take this out. This is like a really common thing I like to do. Just literally cut off your hi-hats for a second, just have different spots. Let's hear that. With these string variations, let's see how they change it, right? So first time. No. That's the second time. That should be the second time, right? Let's hear it. Yeah, because this sounds more tense, right? So let's do something crazy here. So take that last part out. There. What if we even only start the strings on the first snare? And do it again. So every 4 bars this happens. The strings don't come in until the first snare hits. You just want to be doing little things like this that upgrades your beat, right? Because if you just do this only, it's like everybody knows how to do that, you know? It doesn't sound interesting. We got to move things around a little bit, even if it's really simple, right? Like just change things. Let's just see. Yeah. And let's not do it the second time. Only one time. Only one time every 16 bars. No, it'll pluck down like that. So now let's hear the whole 16 bars once and for all. honestly, now that I did the snare thing with this, I don't like that anymore. So I'm gonna make that only happen at the end. That little cutoff. So let's hear that again. Let's add a little more to the drums. This is a little Beethoven one. I want to add a little reverse one that'll come in. And when I do reverse stuff like this, I like to cut off like the very beginning of it, then reverse it. Because I don't like that transient coming in twice. So now when I loop this, let's add some little fills, just random little fills. Not that one though. I have these like crazy fills that I got from some free sample pack a long time ago. I think it's called like Skipsis or something. But like literally like something like that. Ooh. Also another trick you can use is like just for little variations, turn things off. Like literally turn off the mixers. Kind of sounds crazy. You can get like little glitch type sounds. Like what if we literally just cut off all the melodic stuff just for that piece right there. And then you can make things stand out, right? Like I wanted this to stand out. I'll do something to take out that little, do that. And then I'm gonna add a little delay to this. A little delay, we'll make it go 1. And just turn that on only for this part. You want to make like drums interesting sometimes, use a frequency shifter. And let's add a little overdrive to it. I'm just messing around right now. Yeah, let the delay last though, so it really comes through. And then the second time we do this, let's use this part of the fill. Let's consolidate it and then stretch it out. What the hell is happening? There we go. Stretch this to double. And I have this little thing I like. Hold up. Let me separate these. Let's put this thing I have called a beat destroyer on it. Only while that fill plays. So I use this. This just has this little EQ, so it cuts off the really high and the really low, and then saturates it a little bit, a lot. And here, if I put this on the whole beat, I'll show you what it sounds like. You can turn this thing on and off. It's for like transitions and stuff. So I'm going to use that while this is playing. Right there. And then I'm going to copy that to the melodic too. I don't want to put on the whole beat though, because I don't want it to affect this. And what if we went crazy with this too? Like, yeah, there we go. I'm gonna add a little clap to layer with the snare, not on the little extra ones though.
This would take a minute because I can't fake a minute with the.
Now on all my drums, I like to use my little compressor called the Perfect Mix. It's just a glue compressor. Make sure it sounds good. Just to kind of keep everything a little bit in line with each other. You don't want too much though. If you compress the hell out of your drums, you'll just ruin them. And I'm going to saturate them with my master saturator. Yeah, go ahead and copy these settings if you want to, if you like it. Because without that, sounds fine. This just upgrades it a little bit. Give it a little more punch. And that fill is way too loud. Turn the melodic down a little more. All right, and then I forgot to actually do the guitar. So let's put the guitar in and then we'll structure it out. Add a couple extra transitions and it should be good. Let's go E minor. Yeah, let's use a different key. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. What if it only came in the second half?
With the dogs with stakes in it, can I get some chains fitted?
Another thing, the 8-bar rule. There's a thing called the 8-bar rule. Just, it's simple, just add variation every 8 bars, right? Like, so these 8 bars, there's certain variation already. But like, let's say I add a guitar only for the second 8 bars. That could be an interesting guitar pattern. And let's honestly do that. Sorry, wait. Let's go like this, duplicate it, and just change the ending. What can we do here? Let's just try, I don't know, I'm literally just spitballing, but let's just see. Maybe it'll work, let's see. Maybe I should EQ it actually, yeah. In fact, this is the perfect use for a saturator, because it's kind of just missing some frequencies, honestly. Like, let's actually throw a limiter on it instead of a compressor, just to be different. And keep it loud. And then with this one, I'm gonna add 2x2 delay.
And I heard they put a price on my head.
This is a really useful trick I use a lot. Just literally just use 2x2 delay. With the ping pong on, it goes like left to right. Keep it pretty low, keep it filtered like that. You can hear this sound. And let's add some evolution reverb. No, let's use regular reverb. And honestly, this guitar sounds amazing on its own. So maybe later in the beat we can use that as like its own piece too. Let's hear it in the beat. And see, now there's too much going on, right? So let's take those out. So that will replace the keys plus anthem. Will get replaced by the guitar in the second 8 bars, which we can use for the whole beat. No matter what else we have going on, we can use this for the whole beat. Let's add a little bit of structure here. Let's put the pad going all the time, right?
It's like they're throwing dice in the red.
And also, why do we only have 1 octave in here? If you want extra layering too, you can even just duplicate things up or down an octave. Just add some more notes, you know, makes your chords look super complicated. Let's see, this needs to be filtered more because now the strings aren't standing out as much. Let's make these a group. Let's filter this. Take out all those highs. And for the sake of mixing, put an ozone imager on this. This is another free plugin. If you don't have it, you can use it for stereo width and stuff like that. So we're already really wide with the strings. Let's go even wider. And then let's go less wide on the pad so that, again, they just stand out a little bit from each other. See, now they stand out a little bit, right? And see, like with this guitar, right, we don't need a lot of these really low frequencies. Mostly want those really high ones. Now let's structure it out. I'm gonna put my tags on it. Don't forget that. I always do the same thing with my tags pretty much. And also we don't need this. We don't need this. This does not need to happen again. Bring all this stuff forward. Boom. So I have these like first 2 tags and then I have this third one. This third one that goes like this. We're gonna unwarp it and just put it right where the beat drops. Or slightly before. And, okay, just for the sake of like continuity, put that little fill right there. Should bring the effects with it too. And just because that's so like jarring, let's just put a filter on it that only applies this time. So turn that on right there, off, turn it off. Right there. And then I'm gonna put this thing right before that. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of a impact. If you have any sample packs with like things called impacts in them, it could be cool right at the beginning. Literally just like that. Let's add a delay to that too, just to really make it like atmospheric. Then I'm just gonna look for some random like effects or like ambience to just kind of complement the intro. Oh yeah, let's use some city noise. Chop some different pieces in, fade them together a little bit. Turn this one down because it gets crazy loud. Put a limiter on that like crazy. Then here, I'm going to cut off all those drums, deactivate everything here. I'm gonna add a little extra note at the end of this. There's how you make a beat. Alright, I'm gonna do a playthrough. So yeah, I'm not really gonna finish it for this video just because, you know, I could spend hours more on this, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want.